Hi, it's Raphael here. This video is going to be a little different than what I usually post. This is a tip on how to become more confident in yourself. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm browsing the Reddit Forever Alone subreddit right now. I'll leave that in the description below. And I also thought that this would be a good start for the 2020 since the 2010s decade is ending soon, and I hope to begin on a positive note. So without further ado, let's get right into my first tip, and that is confidence is mostly a byproduct of success. Give yourself reasons to be confident. Right, so if you're wondering, this place is Reddit's Forever Alone subreddit. I can link this down in the description if you want to read the interesting posts here. So I found this first one encapsulates most of my first tips, so let me read this post. So for example, this post is about people saying, why don't you understand that you can't build confidence out of nothing? So this perfectly ties in with my first point because, like I said earlier, give yourself reasons to be confident. So it's like, that can be achieving stuff that you can remember, that you can be proud of, like let's say learning a new musical instrument, going to the gym, or maybe, as this guy says, he is good at playing poker, investing in stocks, working in Photoshop, translating documents, and even play basketball. Now look at what he says here. He has experienced success in doing these things. Now this post is about him not being confident in getting a girlfriend, or if you're a girl, getting a boyfriend. This is what actually the subreddit Forever Alone is dedicated to. Romantic unsuccess, basically, or incels. Now, you simply, so now, this line is important because says that he has experienced success in doing these things. Again, like I said before, you need to have a building basis before you can successfully feel confident in yourself, or else you're basically lying to yourself, and that won't really last for too long. Which this comment will say, if you try to fake it, they can sense something is off about you. Now, that is true if you are the type of person that cannot, well, if you're the type of person, if you're a realist and you need like actual exterior reasons that make you feel confident. Like I said before, it is a byproduct of success most of the time. So there are times that this can work, fake it till you make it. There are times that can definitely work if you do it for a while, but if you're like most people, a lot of times they probably, you'll know that you're living a lie, and they probably will not last for too long. So I'd say that the better way, the alternative route to that advice, is to work in silence and build yourself into the person you really want to be. Now, that can be, in this case, we're talking about dating, so I would say work on yourself, like invest in self-improvement. That can be either taking care of yourself more, taking care of your skin more if you have acne. I mean, obviously acne screws over a lot of people, but simply just try your best to reduce it as much as possible if that's the case. Maybe even hit the gym, which I've been doing the past few months. Especially the gym. That's probably a great confidence booster for a lot of people. Now, I would not say that's the saving grace. I mean, a lot of times it probably isn't, but a lot of times it probably can be. So you never really know what the future holds. So you can't really say for sure. So I mean, I know some people here might say, "What's the point?" I mean, what's the point if I'm just gonna end up like this anyway? There's no point, right? There is always building yourself to a better version takes time. So I mean, let's put it in a better way. Improving yourself takes a lot of time depending on where you start out. So not everyone starts off at the same pace, and the journey to that can be grating and even challenging, but I guarantee you the end result will be beautiful. You can take it up a notch. Look, this guy clearly says that he has experienced success in doing these things. So let's reread his entire post. How exactly did he get confident in doing that, right? It's simple. He simply tried and did it. He did it. He either succeeded, maybe he failed, maybe he succeeded, but the same thing applies to every other topic. You You simply have to try. You can't get anywhere if you don't try. I mean, like, especially if you, let's take the gym as an analogy. You do a few push-ups, you may not be strong at first, but if you keep a consistent routine, you'll be able to do more and more until you have achieved your desired result. So the same thing applies for everything you do. I mean, I would say keep your goals realistic, but I don't mean like stuff like that are really impossible, like flying or going to the moon, like unless you apply to be an astronaut or something like that. But simply stuff like this are accessible for every person. Yes, that might seem unbelievable, I mean, but you simply have to break out of that mental block that you have right now. Yes, you might not be able to do it that easily because your past experiences have said otherwise. Like I said earlier, I don't really know how most of your lives go down, but I just know that a positive outlook can really influence a lot of things. Now, look at the way some confident people carry themselves. Now, it is a state of mind, so it is good that you can project that onto the public. And that can also influence the way people act around you, so that can, in turn, give you even more confidence as they treat you better. See what I mean? It's more like, it's a lot of vibes. A lot of times it's the vibe you give out to others as well. So, let's move on to my next tip, and that is display it by the way you present yourself. Okay, now this ties in with my second point, where you've seen people who you just wonder how they got into relationships and why you're still alone, or why some other people who you perceive as having more disadvantages still somehow made it, while you're scratching your head and wondering why. Now, let's look at this post over here, and it's a post 2 years ago. I found this luckily because I'm searching it again in the search bar. So it says here that the guy is a really short guy. He's about 5'2" or 5'3", skinny, with mild acne on his face. Now, let's not be politically correct here and say that a lot of times that kind of traits are usually perceived. Okay, I'm not saying that they really are disadvantages, but they are perceived usually by society as disadvantages. So, playing by their rules, let's see what this post says. Now, I have him in a few of my classes, never talks to anyone, right? Okay, so today I went to my local gas station, so I'm making out with his girlfriend, and he was honestly shocked. And this is another story, so there's two stories here that talk about it. People with some quote-unquote unattractive features still having success. Now, take a look at the way these people act. Now, I guarantee you that they probably don't have model faces. I mean, a lot of times people in the comments will put, yeah, face is more important than height or acne or whatever. They can override these perceived disadvantages. But if you look at the general public, not everybody are supermodels, or, well, depending on what area you live, and they still manage to find SOs, significant others. Now, simply fuck fear. Walk with your head up, smile, and don't be afraid to mess up. Because everybody makes mistakes, everyone's human. The difference is that some of them just don't let their mistakes hold them back. Do you know what I mean? You see that ad, just do it, whatever, what's his name? Shia Labov, I've gotta look at his name, but yeah, whatever he said, just do it. I mean, just dive into it. Just like how I said earlier, how the people are able to become confident in the stuff that they do. Like, let's see, how do you think someone like Floyd Mayweather is so confident? Because he constantly knocks motherfuckers out. Or people like Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer, how they're so confident in tennis. They might have lost some rounds, but they've also won a lot of rounds. So all these people have validated their experiences. I mean, they've validated them, and as such, they are confident in they're confident in their skills, in how they play tennis or how to do boxing, for example. And the same thing applies, again, for this particular topic. If you invest in the self-improvement and kind of note down, definitely pay attention, but don't make it too obvious. Throughout your journey, assuming you're already halfway through or you're starting out, pay attention to the effect. So let's see how people look at you now. Definitely walk up with your head, with your chest out. Stand proud, and just give yourself, well, make yourself look like you have that vibe, that you don't give a fuck vibe. And I guarantee you that will change in the way people perceive how you look. So definitely pay attention to the surrounding people, how they look at, if girls or other people look at you. That is success. I mean, it might not be your end goal, but that is already a bit of success in the way throughout your self-improvement journey. I mean, that should definitely give you more confidence. Now, if you have those, there are some days where you might think, like, let me bring up this other post here. Ever see your competition and think, no wonder why I'm FA, forever alone. FA means forever alone, that's what it stands for. It is competitive whether we want to admit it or not. Women have shown me pictures of the guys interested in her. Most were average to above average looking. They were mostly 5s and 6s, with a few 4s and 7s. As a 1 and a 2, if I get into my best shape, I can't compete with those guys. Now, like I said before, you don't always have to think of it as competition. There will always be stuff that people who are better than you in some ways, and you are better than them in some other ways. So if you look at it as competition, you will always feel inadequate. So don't let that bring you down, and definitely don't let that make you regress in your mental state. That is mostly important. You can look good and all that stuff, but if your mental state is affected, that can show in the way you carry yourself, and you may not be living up to your full potential if that is the case. So, like I said before, this can also be another way to fake it till you make it. If you already have achieved a lot, let's say like you're a master musician, you have already this is assuming you've already done your self-improvement goals. You have finished building the body you want from the gym. You have finished honing those skills that you wanted to hone or improve in, and you still don't feel confident. Well, that is a time where I say fake it till you make it. So keep telling yourself in the mirror, or kind of keep reminding yourself, your goal here is to give yourself positive reinforcement. Now, if people don't give you positive reinforcement, you will have to give it yourself. I mean, I know the comments down below said you can't build it out of thin air, but in this case, you have built your confidence out of past achievements. So all you have to do is simply alter your beliefs, your inner voice, your inner thoughts. Now, that is, like I said last time, it is easier said than done. I'm admit that right there. But take the steps into doing that, and over time, the fake it till you make it statement really works. I mean, I'll give you my own anecdote. I'm definitely not a Chad. I mean, all I did was like, I took down, let's see how I can put this into in a good way. So, if you look at those role models, let's say, one of mine is definitely those people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or people like Brad Pitt and Troy. I kind of took a bit of bits and pieces of those. So I derived it from a bunch of other sources. I didn't just like do it for myself out of nowhere. So with that, I kind of projected that into my daily life, and over time it became normal. So it might seem like you're acting at first, it might not be like your real self, but I don't like throwing out the just be yourself stuff, because that doesn't work for everybody. So I kind of like to say, just be an improved version of yourself, and that there is no shame in saying that, because a lot of people here might be self-defeating in their own heads, and they may not be able to live up to their full potential. Like, I know that their exterior validation is important, but your inner thoughts are also very important as well. They may be even more important than you realize. I noticed around this subreddit, and even people in real life, they usually underrate this a lot. But that's simply it. So, simply fear and all the stuff holding you back, they can fuck off, and you can just do it. I mean, I know that I've been repeating that a lot, but it's simply, I need to repeat that a lot. It has to be ingrained in your head before you successfully find your way to success. Alright, so let's look at this comment over here. if you've already done all the superficial self-improvement, lifting, dressing nicely, skincare, so basically everything here that I've stated last time, then perhaps what's left is more about your personality. See, like I said, if you do all of this stuff but you don't put yourself out there to socialize, all of these won't matter because you need to make them see what you are now. So you have to put yourself out there in order to get that. How many new people are you normally interacting on a daily or weekly basis? That's a great question. Like I said before, now, look again, this ties in with the first half of the video. Look again at how you got confident in your other stuff, like your other skills. You simply did it. So again, simply put yourself out there. You don't have to be the life of the party. You don't have to be the, the outgoing extrovert all the time. But simply take baby steps. You don't have to like take a gigantic leap, but simply try it and then take it up a notch. You can crank it up every subsequent tries. You can crank it up a bit, and that is your new league. Okay, so I hope you have taken a bit of this advice. As I said before, I don't really know how most of your lives go down, so please don't go down in the comments. I know some people here get in Forever Alone, this subreddit, they get kind of pissed off that some people keep throwing the same advice over and over. So what I've done with this video is take both perspectives, so people who have achieved stuff and people who have not really achieved stuff, people who are just have complete fuck-ups in their lives. I've taken both perspectives, hopefully, and tried to kind of combine both advices and kind of give advice on how to do it depending on what point you're starting out from. Alright, so that's good. I decided to make this video because it's gonna be the 2020 soon, and I'm hoping that we begin on this on a positive note instead of a negative note. Let's leave the past behind and influence the future in a positive way. So thank you all very much for watching. Like I said before, I will leave this Reddit subreddit in the description below. I have my own Reddit account if you want to follow me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out. Comment down below what you think. If you got any other extra questions, I'm always online on YouTube, so I will be able to comment down below as well to your questions. I can probably make an updated video as well on this. But okay, 3K subscribers.